Now, if you are a content creator out there, I guarantee you're probably looking for kind of the holy grail of things when you come down to a light. That's going to be, you need something that's affordable, you need something that has a lot of versatility, and you also want something that has a decent amount of output to give you flexibility when you're shooting. Now, I recently came across this. This is the Weeylite WP35 full color RGB panel light. And what's great about this, I'll cut it on for a little drama there. This is a full RGB light that I think checks off a lot of the boxes if you are looking for that holy grail of price, flexibility, and power. Now, I do want to talk about what this light is, and if you're a content creator, how this may be something that could really, really help in your arsenal of light kits. First thing I'd like to point out, though, is that this light is actually, I would consider this a handheld mobile fill light. And you know, Weeylite makes this. This is the S1 handle, and this thing is pretty cool. Check this out. I can slip this on there. If I hook the light on there, I have a handle that gives me a really nice, flexible option where I can run and gun. And it's really nice. If you look, it's actually got a 1/4 inch on the bottom and the front here, as well as this mount stand. So I can literally run this around. That means if I'm a photographer or a videographer and need a light that's portable and fast, I can run around with it. And why is this thing portable? Well, if you look at the back here, it actually has 2 power options. It actually got a Sony NP battery option that you can power off Sony batteries, and it has a traditional DC in. So if you want to plug this in a wall, power it all day, you can be good. And it has the 2 batteries. So that gives you a really nice and versatile mobile situation. And this can be great for if you're out there in the field shooting stuff, or if you have a home studio and you want to move the light around. Just really easy to get it around and move it. Now, that being said, I do want to talk about the features on this light. So I'm going to loosen this up here so I can get it on. And as you can see, I'll put it right back here on my stand. There we go. And this light, while it's only $129, it does come packed with a lot of features that I think, honestly, are a requirement now in a light if you are a content creation. The first thing is, this is a bicolor light. It actually has a 2800K to 6800K temperature range. It has a TLCI of 97. And what's great about it, it only draws 30 watts of power. That is why you can take it and put it on the batteries like this. Now, even though it only draws 30 watts of power, it still has a pretty good punch. I mean, it punches in at 3200 lux of power. So that gives you a pretty good output at 100% power. Now, if I flip it here to the back, you're going to be able to see some of the versatility that this thing has. I'm going to up my power here just so you can see it stepping up and bring it all the way up to 100% power. There you go. Just kind of see it on that back wall to kind of see what it does. Now, if you look here on the back, you'll see it's got everything laid out very easy. So as you can see, it's got color temperature, a hue saturation, an RGBWY. It's actually got a gels mode, which is really interesting, and it has an FX panel. And in addition to each of these sections, you actually have then 3 dials on the side that let you dial in with precision 3 different parameters of each of those things to really get the light dialed in exactly what you want, which if you are doing any kind of lighting, something you're definitely going to want. Now, as you can see in CCT mode, I can come here, I can dim it as I just showed you, but I can also change the color temperature very quickly all the way up to 6800, or I can really warm it up and bring it all the way down here to 2800. So you can see the difference that makes. The other thing that's really nice about this is that this will let me go ahead and I can add a red or green shift. So if I need to match this light to something, you can see just how that shift affects in there. But it literally lets you go from -10 to +10 for a red and green shift, which really helps this thing play nice and match up in scenes with other things. Now, in addition to that, it is a full-on RGB light. So I can come here in my hue and saturation level. And as you can see, I'll put my saturation at 100% just so you can see it. And now I can go ahead. It has a dimmer, but you can see I can cycle through here and really go through all the colors through a 360-degree range. So this is a really powerful feature. I'm just going to cycle through real quick just so you can see it. And there you go. You know, it stays up really well. And what I really like about any, honestly, RGB light that's really important for me is it's not just cycling through these lights. For me, it's about controlling the saturation, because sometimes you don't want it to be that quite neon type look. And as you can see here, I can dial this down. and make this much, much more subtle, or I can dial it up and really make it super crazy neon. So really nice to have that option. Now, if you're someone that wants even more degree, you can actually switch over here and hit RGBWY, and this will let you control each of these channels individually. So you can see I can slick down between there, and then I can maybe dial up my reds, and then maybe, hey, I want a little more yellow, I can bring up the yellows like that. This just gives you, if you're someone that really, really likes precision control, having this level of actual individual color channel control gives you a lot of flexibility. Now, there is also a standard FX scenes that I think most of our lights nowadays have. And this one, because it is RGB, has 26 different lighting effects that allows you to dial in the parameters of those for your effect for further control. So as you can see, I have a campfire effect here going in the background. And let's say if I want to, I can slow down the flicker so the flicker becomes very slow. Or if I wanted to heat it up, I can make it a faster flicker and do something like that. You can do that for all the parameters. I'm not going to list every one. I'll put a list here for all the lighting effects just so you see them. But this is something you'd expect on most LED lights. Now, there is one more mode that I find very interesting on this, and this is a color or gel mode. And what happens is this thing actually has color gel simulation that allows you to rotate between popular Roscoe and Lee gels. And you know, you can't come in here and just kind of dial them in, and you can see if I go through very quickly how fast it'll go. But while you can go ahead and dial in the gels here on the back of the light, it actually makes a lot more sense to use the incredible Weeylite app that comes with the lights. And I'll be honest, the Weeylite app is one of my favorite apps that exists for any light across any system. You literally cut on this light. If you get the Weeylite app, it instantly works. It instantly recognizes it. I have multiple Weeylite apps, and I've never ever had an issue with it connecting. Let's go ahead and take a look at it so you can see what I have. So now that I'm here in the app, I do want to show. I'm going to come to my color chip, and you'll see now you can see a Roscoe set of gels. And I can instantly click on this, and you will see just how fast I cycle through the different lights. A lot of popular Roscoes. If I want to go to Lee gels, I can come to the Lee gels, and you can see how I can instantly get all these different vibes super, super fast. So if you're a gel person, this could be something you really like. And if you look at this Weeylite app, what makes it so good is the fact that it gives me such flexibility of all the things on the light. I can put it up somewhere. I can come here to my color temperature. If I want my hue saturation, I can just dial it in however I want. You can see how smooth and instantly this goes. I'm dialing it, it instantly changes. RGBW, same thing. I can dial it in, maybe bring my greens up, maybe bring my reds up. Or I can come in here to my FX, and you can see now how I can get access to these FX, and I can dial in the intensity or not. You know, maybe I want to get, you know, flashing lights from an emergency vehicle. It doesn't really matter. And you can also do X, Y coordinates, which I find to be very, very interesting. So it just gives you a lot of flexibility, and if you really wanted to, there's a thing here called a color picker that I could actually take here, and I'm going to basically open up my phone. I'm going to pick this blue right here, and you will see that my light will change to match that color. If I come here to the tabletop, it'll do it. Very, very cool feature. The app is one of my favorite things I've ever come across on any light. Really, really makes getting this light really powerful and really worth it. All right, now that we've talked about the light, I'm going to dial it down so I don't blind the camera when I come back around. But I do want to talk about the design of this thing because it is actually a really nice design. It's an all-metal design, which for $129 actually really surprised me. So it's a very, very sturdy, solidly constructed. The barn doors are metal. They feel really good. You know, the control dials are obviously intuitive and very clear. And it does have this U-shaped bracket here, which allows for 360 degrees of free rotation. So if you put this up on something, you're going to be able to really go ahead and get it placed the way you want. I've had a lot of lights before where I'm limited by the movement. Having that 360 degree free rotation is actually a really, really powerful thing. Now that's kind of what this light is about, but I think it's important to actually see situations where I think you as shooters would find it practical to use this light. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few situations where a little small, powerful handheld light like this can be very, very helpful in different situations. All right, let's go take a look. Okay, so I am outside now just to demonstrate how you can use this WP35 as a key light if you're outside. Now you can kind of see I'm outside, I have exposure to the background, but my face is a little bit dark. But because I have this handheld light, what I can basically do is I can bring this up and just really give me a nice bit of fill light on my face. You can see as I'm sitting here, if I put it there and take it away and put it back up there, it really is enough for me to be out here, even in this bright, late afternoon sunlight. It gives me a nice little key. And if you have a partner out there that can hold a light for you, you can really, really just do it really simple. And I just like how you have the flexibility. And you can see here, you know, I can hold it and it's just really, really good. Gives me a nice kind of natural, soft key light that fills in those details and lets me look a little more normal if I'm shooting outside in bright days and still want to get a good key light that can work outside like this. Okay, so here's another situation where I really think the WP35 could really, really shine for you if you are someone that does a lot of content creation at a desk or in front of a computer. It actually is such a nice small size, you can easily put it in a home office as a key light for your presentation. So for instance, I'm sitting here in an office, I have the daylight coming in the back at 5600 Kelvin, but because this is a bicolor light, I basically have this warm little lamp here coming in as a 3200 Kelvin. And what I want to do is I just want to accent that, give me a key that's that warm light temperature, but pop it in from the light. And all I can do, I'll just turn it on and boom, you can instantly see what a difference that makes. So now I have a nice, good key light that's really, really good for computer screens, and I can cut it back off just so you can see just what a difference that makes when you cut it on and off. So this really, really light serves really, really well as a light that you can use if you're doing a lot of desktop vlogging. It's small, it's affordable, and really gets across as a nice key light for how you want to make it work. All right, so there you go. I hope this kind of showed you some of the versatility of this Weeylite WP35 light and why, if you are looking for an affordable, versatile, and kind of powerful little creative tool, this might be exactly what you need to get your studio or your shooting up and running. Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Leave me any notes or comments down below. Yeah, go out there, keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.